Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on this upcoming transit of Rahu and Ketu nodal shift which will happen in the month of December. So friends, I have already uploaded my findings and my observation on any specific nodal axis movement. I mean to say, Rahu is about to transit in Dhanishta. What could be the probable outcome? We have already discussed about that. I have also, in a very advanced, I have also uploaded the results for this upcoming transit of Rahu in Capricorn and Ketu in Cancer as well. But in this discussion, friends, we will be giving more attention towards the dispositor because it is going to be slightly strange because in this time period, both the dispositor of Rahu and Ketu are somehow going to be connected with the water energy. We know that Saturn is going to be transiting in the Pisces sign for till the month of June of 2027, and Ketu's dispositor is going to be like moon, and moon in itself just is going to be very fickle. It shift signs in just 2.5 days. So how this water element is going to be impacting you, because Rahu and Ketu are responsible for bringing fated events in our life. Somehow they have a strong say over our subconsciousness. So based on the water dispositor, how it is going to be impacting you, influencing you, that is what we will try to understand in this short and crisp discussion. So friends, before we will start our discussion, first of all, we will pray to Lord Ganesha, who is the Hindu god of auspiciousness, good omens, and who presides over all the knowledge of mystic sciences. So Om Vakratund Mahakai Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kuruma Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. We will also invoke the blessings of the Rahu Devata, Om Bhram Bhrim Bhrom Sah Rahve Namah, and we will also invoke the blessing of the Ketu Devata. Om Sram Srim Srom Sah Ketve Nama. I somehow I guess today at a time when I'm recording this video, transiting moon is conjunct with Ketu. So not only I was feeling very spiritual, very devotional, but somehow I also wanted to talk about the Rahu and Ketu only. So I just thought I was paying attention to all the planetary shift and the movements. Very soon I will be preparing and uploading the content on the 2027 yearly readings as well. So I just thought before that, let's have a quick discussion on this. Because friends, like the way my personal life is also not hidden. I am in the Saturn Mahadesha. I keep on giving reference to that as well. So the magic of Rahu and Ketu is that no matter how much you can attach blame to Rahu, that Rahu is vidharmi, like Rahu can corrupt your mind and all of that. But not only in the modern day and age, Rahu is responsible for giving you fame, recognition, but also it holds this capacity to give you the fruits of something for which you have been long craving. Like the way I was giving reference to my personal life as well. So my whole Mahadasha of the Saturn, like in the Saturn Mercury, my YouTube channel started. Saturn Venus, artistic creative endeavors. Saturn Moon was kind of turbulent, and even in Saturn Mars. But ultimately, eventually, what was aligned with my destiny, somehow that got delivered to me once my Rahu Antardasha started. So that is the only reason when we talk about something which is encrypted, something which is hidden, something which is like fated, something which resides within you like a dormant talent. So Rahu and Ketu holds a key for bringing that out in front of you. So that is the only reason Rahu and Ketu's movement or shift in the transit is important, and at the same time their active dasha in someone's life also becomes very important. But the catch over here is that whenever it comes down to assessing Rahu and Ketu, more than their zodiac sign placement, it's the dispositor which is going to be pulling the strings from behind the scene. So knowing the innate nature of the dispositor becomes very important. What is the innate nature of that planet, in which condition, in that period of time the dispositor is going to be transiting, knowing all of that becomes very important. So based on that only, friends, we will start our discussion. So like the way I mentioned this thing, that when you are analyzing Rahu and Ketu, they hold no physical form and act as proxies for their dispositor, the lord of the signs they occupy. So the interplay when Rahu is going to be in Capricorn and Ketu is going to be in Cancer, which will happen on December 5th of 2026 based on the mean node calculation. So both of their dispositor streams heavily involve water element, which will influence and create very distinctive dynamics. This is what we will try to understand over here. So friends, the very first slide is about this nodal transit paradigm, that Rahu and Ketu lack the physical mass, acting purely as the shadow forces. So their true manifestation is defined entirely by the state and sign of their ruling dispositor. So now comes the question that the proxy principle we have already discussed, that the nodes have no body, they are the Chaya Graha. They adopt the flavor, agenda, and energy of the zodiac sign they occupy, functioning through the planet that rules that sign. And the water element filter. So although Rahu will occupy the earthly energy of the Capricorn and Ketu will occupy the water sign, both the underlying rulers, Saturn and Moon, are stationed in water signs, creating a deep emotional filter. So now let's take up one by one. So when we talk about looking at it from the lens of the Rahu being in the Capricorn and its dispositor Saturn, which is going to be transiting in the Pisces sign till the month of the June 2027. So friends, look at it in this way. See, that goes without any saying that Rahu's placement in the Capricorn hold this capacity to bring out that dormant talents, or like people generally, they, like those people who have even in their birth chart Rahu in the Capricorn, they hold this capacity to be pioneer in their chosen field, in their line of work. They hold this capacity to manage authority in a very efficient kind of way, because Rahu is like a diplomat. Rahu is like the master schemer. There is nothing, no sense of disguise which could be hidden from Rahu. No manipulating, no scheme which could be hidden from Rahu. And Rahu is very futuristic as well. And Capricorn in itself is the consolidation of the authority. So I mean to say, in the modern day Kali Yuga, Rahu in the Capricorn is one of the best placement. Again, with Rahu in the Aquarius, somehow it can actually make you very futuristic, very visionary, kind of a bohemia kind of personality, where you might be genius, but because of your eccentricity, you will not fit the bill. But when we talk about Rahu in the Capricorn, like Rahu in any of the earth signs, is a very consolidating energy of the Rahu, that not only you have a vision, you have a on ground functioning capacity as well. So the way I mentioned, Rahu in the Capricorn, the main drive tend to remain that it seeks the person towards material ambition, status, structure, authority, and long term society goals. Now, in this whole dynamics, how the Saturn influence will come, because again, Saturn is the dispositor. So normally what we have seen that Rahu ground itself in the Saturn's pragmatic, hardworking earth energy. Now this time it is going to be different, because Saturn is going to be at the same time transiting in the Pisces zodiac sign, a water sign ruled by Jupiter. So that means Rahu's ambition is going to be channeled through a watery filter. Now, how it is going to be impacting, or what is going to be the final byproduct, right? What is going to be the result? So instead of the pure, cold, corporate or structural ambition, Rahu's drive in this period of time will become fueled by subconscious desires, karmic clearing, intuitive strategy, and emotional resolution. Ambitions may shift towards spiritualization, creative endeavors, or dismantling rigid old structures to make room for something very deep. So we will definitely see, friends, this is going to be a time period when many people who were otherwise was very materialistic, and they were like very self driven, in this period of time your goals, your ambition will definitely have a sense and a touch of self sacrifice, empathy, care for others as well. And only if you will give attention to what your soul is seeking for, what kind of craving you are getting deep from inside, this can actually give you higher fulfillment as well. So, all of that is going to be possible. So let's look at the slides. So earthly ambition will meet the oceanic waters. So that means, um, first of all, it tells about the modified ambition. That means Saturn rules Capricorn but resides in spiritual watery Pisces. So this is going to be the time of the karmic clearing. Rahu's drive for power is not purely cold or corporate. It becomes driven by subconscious currents. And in the real world, goals are or could be executed through spiritualization, creative endeavors, and dissolving rigid paradigms. Now, friends, when we talk about from the Ketu's perspective, so we know this thing that Ketu's energy in the Cancer, like especially anything influencing the moon, could be like, the way we say that people who are very driven to the prophetic dreams, visions, inner gut feel. So that is going to be the way higher powers are going to be communicating with you. So Ketu in Cancer pushes for detachment from emotional dependencies, old comfort zones, and family homeland conditioning. It forces inner resilience rather than seeking external security. Now comes the question, the influence of the moon. So the moon is, we know that moon is fickle, right? It is very fast moving and fluid, like ruling Cancer. So that means because Ketu's anchor is the moon, the restless detachment mechanism is not clean or linear. It ebbs and flows like tides. So the ultimate outcome is going to be that the process of unbinding from emotional attachments will feel unpredictable, and like there is going to be that feeling of spiritual detachment. Like there might be one day where you will have a feeling of spiritual detachment, and the next day a sudden wave of emotional vulnerability or nostalgia. So that is how the feelings will go through waves in this period of time. So the points which I have written over here is that Ketu in the Cancer forces detachment from emotional dependencies, ancestral pattern, and habitual comfort zone. You might have this feeling that I cannot live without this person. I cannot sleep till the time I haven't eaten this, I haven't consumed this, or if my bed is not set up like this. So it will give you somehow, it will create those conditions that it will make you come out of your comfort zone, and it will demand inner resilience, purging conditional security to cultivate spiritual self reliance and emotional liberation. That is the only reason, friends, you would have seen like people who are very religious, they could be bound by the book, by the rules. But when we talk about people who are spiritual, they are connected with the higher powers of universe unconditionally. Self sacrifice, surrender defines their devotion. So when we talk about how it is going to be influencing you, so the there is going to be that mechanism of detachment. See, because the thing is, when Ketu was in the Leo, where it was hitting you most, wheresoever your pride reside, your prestige reside, but now it is going to be hampering or affecting your security, your comfort zone. So it is going to be like the anchor of yours is going to be fluctuating in this period of time. The moon is the fastest, most variable planet ruling the water sign, and Ketu's detachment process is not cold or clinical. It ebbs and flows like oceanic tides. And let's say, for example, it can also alternate between the moments of deep spiritual transcendence and sudden nostalgic vulnerability. So, again, all the sacrifices and decisions around your family life you will make during this time, there's going to be that rootedness and deeper sense of commitment which has to be involved. So, friends, ultimately, when we talk about the psychological and collective expectations, So when both the nodes dispositor tie directly into the water element themes, the external world, like the Capricorn ambition, gets heavily conditioned by the internal world, which is the watery emotions and the psyche. So now comes the question that, okay, how could you deal with it, right? That's what the objective is, to explain that part. So let's look at it from the Rahu's perspective, right? Let's say, for example, if Rahu is your defining planet, your moon is in the Adra, Swati, Sadvisha nakshatra, in any capacity, Rahu is active in the Dasha, you are in a field connected with Rahu, software, films, photography, casino, liquor, or you are around the age of the maturity of the Rahu. So that means how you can handle or manage this energy shift. So your material goals must align with higher purpose, faith, building structures over deep, uncertain emotional waters, because the dispositor is going to be in the Pisces. And let's say, for example, if Ketu is your defining planet, you are around the maturity of the age of Ketu. Ketu is active in the Dasha. Your birth moon nakshatra is in the Ketu's nakshatra. So what can you do? So again, friends, how to manage or channelize Ketu being in the Cancer is surrendering emotional crutches, navigating mood swings and psychological releases to find the true inner peace. So, friends, ultimately, eventually, if I were to say what to expect overall, so first of all, there has to be a clear difference between illusion versus reality in the worldly goals. Rahu in the Capricorn and dispositor being in the Pisces. That means Rahu will drive you to build status and structures, typical theme of Capricorn. But Saturn in Pisces will constantly remind you that material structures built without emotional or spiritual alignments are filled with illusions. There is definitely going to be emotional fluidity and vulnerability because the moon is fast moving and fickle, and Ketu's detachment won't feel cold. So it requires passing through emotional waves, processing the past conditioning, and developing that emotional maturity. A lot of the times it happens. See, the thing is, whatsoever you are, in whatsoever situation you are, be here now. I guess that was the quote given by Ramdas, right? So if you feel that your relationship has gone through its duration and you actually want to call off that relationship, so be in that mindset that you can live without that relationship. But let's say, for example, going with that emotional wave, you called off that relationship, you broke off with your partner, but now even after breaking up you are still thinking about that person. So that will leave you in between, which is the typical theme of Ketu being in the Cancer. So whatsoever belongs to you, or whatsoever you set aside or you sacrifice during this time, there has to be deeper level of commitment. So all what I can say, friends, that because the moon is fast moving and fickle, and Ketu's detachment shall not feel cold to you, so it will require passing through emotional waves, processing past conditioning, and developing emotional maturity. So all what I can say, friends, because the element of water as a overlapping theme with both Rahu and Ketu. So I would say that water has this capacity which can dissolve the rigid earth. So the structures people rely on for emotional security, Cancer Ketu, or the social status, Capricorn Rahu, will undergo a cleansing, spiritualized transformation. So, friends, yeah, that's all what I primarily wanted to say, because this is going to be like the theme for another 18 months. Like, based on the mean node calculation from December 5th of 2026, it is going to be there till June of 2028. So that means over this 1.5 year transit, the universe systematically dismantle external structures built on illusion while compelling us to master our emotional tides. Both the dispositor channel operate through water elements, ensuring that material ambition and emotional liberation occurs simultaneously on a deep psychological level. So, friends, if you were to ask me which all people will get benefited in this phase of Rahu and Ketu, because see, whenever we talk about the planetary force which has this capacity to outgrow your prevailing circumstances, so that sort of power and magic that only Rahu and Ketu hold, right? So I mean to say, let's say for example, if you have to understand it from the Rahu's perspective. So Rahu in the Capricorn actually give you gains, authority, but ultimately what matters is that how much you have earned that success, that status through associating yourself with the philanthropic humanitarian causes. Is this something you so madly wanted that you are ready to sacrifice everything for that? So that is the typical theme of Rahu in the Capricorn and Dispositor being in the Pisces. And when we talk about Ketu being in the Cancer's perspective, so again, friends, all what I can say is that Ketu will operate more. Ketu will hit you hard on your comforts, on your security, wheresoever you have deeper emotional anchoring. That is where Ketu is going to be operating now. So self reliance will be the key. And having that rootedness in your emotions and your feelings is the key. That's all what I can say. So, yes, friends, the primary manifestation of Rahu in Capricorn, Dispositor being in the Pisces, is ambition channeled through intuition, spiritualization, and dissolving old structure. Ketu in Cancer, Dispositor, like being the moon in itself, fluctuating detachment from home, comfort, purging old emotional reliance. Like, I've seen all those people, they were living happily in foreign land, happily settled there, made some transition, moved to a place, they forced that change in their life, and now they are again complaining. So, I mean to say, that deeper sense of understanding, commitment, self reliance is the key during this time. Gone is the time when Ketu was in the, like when Ketu is in the Leo, where it is going to be detaching you from the pride and prestige. Now it is going to be operating more on your comfort zone. And the collective theme, friends, again, it's like outer structure reshaped by the inner emotional realities. That is going to be very important. So, the way I mentioned, when dispositor of both nodes reside in the water sign, cold ambition dissolve into spiritual purpose, and emotional dependencies are cleansed by the tide of consciousness. Real power is built from inner emotional security. So yes, friends, if you have any question, do write that, leave that in the comments section. So once again, friends, thanks a lot for watching this video. And for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account.